Oh, buckle up, because this is not just another royal story, it's drama straight out of a soap opera, except the characters are real and the stakes are royal legacies. It's been 5 long years since Meghan Markle slammed those palace doors behind her and strutted into her freedom. Everyone thought she was finally free, unchained from the suffocating grip of royal protocol. She had the world's attention, the power, the platform to shine as her own woman. She could have been a modern Princess Diana, a force for good, fighting for humanitarian causes. But what did she do? Silence. A podcast here, a kitchen apron moment there, but nothing that screamed world-changing. The spotlight was hers, and she dimmed it. Now let's rewind, because you can't really get this drama without going back to when Meghan first hit the royal scene. Remember those headlines? The new Diana. Diana 2.0. The press, the PR machine. It was all carefully crafted. From her wardrobe to her charitable appearances, right down to the jewelry, everything was designed to make you think, wow, she's just like Diana. But over time, people realized something chilling. Meghan wasn't walking Diana's path. She was cosplaying it. And trust me, the royals noticed. Behind those velvet palace curtains, Prince William was not having it. The future king, Diana's fiercely protective son, drew a hard, bold line. Meghan was not allowed to touch Diana's jewelry. Not the rings, not the necklaces, and absolutely not that iconic Cartier gold watch. Why? Because in William's eyes, Meghan hadn't earned it. She wasn't royal in action, she wasn't royal in spirit, and she sure as hell wasn't going to play dress up with his mother's memory. And here's where it gets scandalous. The media had been fooled, completely. For months, maybe years, glossy photos of Meghan wearing what everyone thought was Diana's cherished Cartier watch hit the headlines. People thought it was sentimental, a respectful nod to Diana. But guess what? It wasn't real. The watch was fake. A knockoff. For the palace, that said it all. When the truth came out, William snapped into action. Magazines had to quietly retract their stories. Corrections were printed. Meghan hadn't been wearing Diana's beloved gift. She was faking it. Illusion over reality. And for the House of Windsor, a family obsessed with legacy and symbolism, that was a slap in the face. You can imagine Meghan's reaction. She was livid. Sources say she tried her usual cards. Accusations of racism, blaming the press, playing the misunderstood outsider. But William didn't flinch. He stood firm, spine straight, determined to defend his mother's memory. While Harry slipped deeper into Meghan's chaotic orbit, William stayed steady. And make no mistake, this wasn't just about a watch. It was about what it represented. Diana's legacy wasn't about who wore her jewelry. It was about her compassion, her courage, her strength. Meghan, with the world at her feet, chose performance over purpose. Instead of carrying Diana's torch, she dressed herself in Diana's shadow. That's not tribute, that's exploitation. Meanwhile, Princess Catherine, oh, she's the quiet storm. She wears Diana's jewelry, not out of entitlement, but out of trust. She earned it through loyalty, through years of duty, through actions, not headlines. That's why William allowed her to carry Diana's pieces. Kate walks the walk. Meghan, William believed, never did. Now let's talk about how far Meghan's Diana cosplay went, because trust me, it wasn't just about one shiny watch. The obsession ran deep. Every hairstyle, every carefully staged pose, every outfit at royal engagements, it all whispered Diana. But it wasn't subtle anymore. Meghan didn't just want to honor Diana, she wanted to be Diana. And for the royals, that crossed the line from tribute into something almost unsettling. And who noticed? Everybody. Royal watchers, insiders. Even seasoned palace staff who had seen every trick in the book were whispering that Meghan was taking things way too far. This wasn't admiration, it was mimicry. Creepy mimicry. Let's not forget Catherine, Kate. She's the complete opposite. She doesn't need Instagram posts, flashy podcasts, or Netflix contracts to prove her worth. She's out there, quietly doing the work. Hospital visits, children's charities, family events. She moves with dignity, no theatrics. That's why she's trusted with Diana's legacy. Because she shows up every single time, no performance needed. Meghan, on the other hand, red carpets, microphones, and staged, candid moments. It was image versus substance, and the contrast was impossible to ignore. But if you thought the fake watch was Meghan's worst stunt, think again. Let's rewind to that infamous Netflix pottery scene. Meghan's sleeves rolled up, shaping clay like she was starring in her own daytime soap. And oh, look what just happens to flash on her wrist. That golden Cartier watch. The camera angles made sure of it. The subtle peek here, the glint there, it screamed, look, she's wearing Diana's watch. And of course, the press went wild. Meghan honors Diana, the headlines sang. But behind the palace walls, fury. Because once again, it wasn't Diana's watch. It was a fake, a property. And this time, people inside the family were asking, how many times has she done this? How many fake tributes has she paraded to fool the cameras? The fallout? Trust shattered. Whatever fragile respect William had left was gone. His patience? Worn thin? Harry's reaction? Silence, as usual. When things get real, Harry disappears into the background. The correction, when it came, was tiny. Just a quiet line in the corner of a magazine retraction. But make no mistake, it was loud where it mattered. The message was clear. William wasn't letting his mother's memory be twisted into Meghan's marketing strategy. He was the gatekeeper and he was shutting it down. But here's Meghan's trick. Silence. She never corrects the narrative. She lets the image float, lets the speculation swirl, the public fills in the blanks, the media spins it, and by the time the truth leaks out, Meghan's already moved on to the next staged moment. It's not an accident. It's her strategy. But William wasn't having it. His quiet correction, his refusal to play along, was him saying, "Not on my watch." And that's when this jewelry drama stopped being about accessories and started being about something much bigger. Identity, legacy, control of Diana's memory. Meghan wanted to borrow it, bend it, brand it. But William? He was guarding it with his whole being. Because for him, Diana's legacy wasn't a photo op, it was sacred. And the palace insiders say William always kept Diana's jewelry under lock and key, not out of selfishness, but out of protection. He knew the emotional weight those pieces carried. That's why, when Harry and Meghan tried to split Diana's collection after their wedding, it wasn't some sweet family moment. It was tense, negotiated, and William had the final word. Romantic stories about Harry giving Kate Diana's ring? Nice fairy tale, but not the full truth. William always had the upper hand, and Meghan? She was never going to be allowed to play dress-up with those jewels. And oh, did that sting. Meghan didn't take it quietly. Reports say she was furious, feeling cut off, even calling the ban racist at one point. But William didn't move. He knew what was happening, emotional manipulation. And he wasn't letting her rewrite the rules. Not when his mother's memory was on the line. But Meghan didn't stop there. If she couldn't wear Diana's real jewelry, she wore imitation pieces that looked suspiciously similar. Rings, earrings, watches, all designed just enough to spark speculation. The media lapped it up, eager for symbolic drama. And it worked, until William dropped the hammer with those quiet but deadly corrections. That one little retraction may have seemed small, but it was a scalpel strike. Clean, precise, final. It was William saying, Diana's memory isn't a costume, and if you try to fake it, you will be called out. And honestly, that's where the sadness creeps in. Meghan had the chance of a lifetime. She wasn't just some Hollywood actress anymore. She was on the global stage with millions of eyes watching. She had the freedom to carve out her own legacy, to champion real causes. Education, women's rights, humanitarian missions. She could have been Diana in spirit, building something lasting. But instead of building her own identity, she tried to borrow one. Instead of earning respect, she tried to steal it. And that's why, in the eyes of William and a growing number of royal watchers, she will never be Diana. Because Diana's greatness wasn't in her fashion, her jewelry, or her photo ops. It was in her heart, her compassion, her humanity. Meghan, instead of stepping into her own greatness, chose the mirror. Reflection over action, performance over purpose. And here's the kicker. William isn't perfect. No royal is. But when it came to protecting his mother's memory, he showed something rare in that family. Spine. He didn't need flashy interviews or documentaries. He didn't need a Netflix contract. He simply said no and meant it. That's what cut through Meghan's illusions. He understood the difference between a tribute and theft. And to him, Meghan's behavior was theft of sentiment, of memory, of meaning. And he shut it down, quietly, decisively. Now let's circle back to Harry, because his silence in all this is deafening. Once, he was the son who guarded Diana's memory most fiercely. He carried her flame, spoke her truths, defended her spirit. But now he's a background character in his own family's saga. While William fought to preserve their mother's legacy, Harry looked the other way. Love, blind loyalty, or just exhaustion. Whatever the reason, his silence is its own kind of tragedy. And Meghan, she hasn't stopped performing. One stage moment after another, one fake nod here, one imitation piece there. But here's the thing, the illusion is wearing thin. People are catching on. The more she plays these games, the more transparent they become. And William, he isn't backing down. Not now. Not ever. He's the gatekeeper of Diana's memory, and he's not handing that key to Meghan. At the end of the day, the real jewels weren't the glittering Cartier watches, the sparkling rings, or the iconic necklaces. The real jewels were truth, dignity, and loyalty. And Meghan, she never had those. William did. And that's why she was never allowed to wear them.